Chaps. So if it's you and me, Ashley, I have a question for you. I'll think about it tonight. And that was, how did you feel that Jurgen Klopp's interview went with BT Sport the other night?
I felt Jurgen's pain. I think that he was right in everything he was saying, and he was holding his mouth. He wanted to say more, but because he's on TV, he would have got banned if he wanted to spoke his mind.
But knowing that this week, Liverpool, of the Champions League clubs that are playing in the middle of the week, are the only one of the four whose game is on Sunday. Yeah, do you not think he should have seen like swings and roundabouts in this? He would have known that. Do you not think he was a bit of a fool of himself, knowing that the very following week it would have been the other way around?
Yeah, maybe, but I think the interviewer set him up because he wound him up. He rubbed him up the wrong way by I can't remember what it was. He said something at the beginning where this Klopp said, "No, it's not that." I can't remember what it was.
You're right. I totally agree with you. The BT guy was trying to make a name for himself, egged on probably by his colleagues. What he was trying to say, the BT Sport guy was trying to say, hey, well, don't blame me. We're just like the TV stations. The Premier League decide on the fixtures, etc. And Jurgen was saying, no, Dice, you pick us to play Saturday lunchtime. You continue to do that. But if he just studied the fixtures just a little bit and think that the following week he was going to get all the benefit of playing Sunday after Tuesday versus, his competitors, maybe he should have balanced it out a bit. Maybe.
The interviewer started off by asking him something like, what did he ask? My mic is going blank. He asked him something like, he asked him about the refereeing decisions in the match, and Jurgen says, oh yeah, I agree with them all. And then the interviewer was like, oh yeah, but why are you agreeing with them all? And then Jurgen says, well, it just flipped out from there.
Yeah, it was something about the Milner injury, wasn't it? He said, the BT guy said, how do you feel about the Milner injury? And I think Jurgen said something like, well, it was your fault, or, you should feel good about it, yeah?
Yeah, and it is the TV company's fault because that's why they're playing at that time, but the guy didn't want to admit it.
Yeah, but hey, Liverpool are playing this Sunday, whereas Chelsea, Liverpool, and City play Tuesday, Wednesday, and all playing Saturday. So goes around, comes around there.
Yeah, it does.
Boss man, now you're back, yeah?
Yes, Ian. How you doing, sir? How you doing? My internet was playing about, so I've tapped myself in the kitchen, and it's clear.
Are Liverpool going to win tonight, do you think? They've already hit the post once, Curtis Jones.
I've got a feeling it's a 50-50. Ajax, I know they're young. They've got a new team. Their previous team of a season or two has been broken apart. But these new fellas, they showed well last week against Michelin. And I've got a feeling it's going to be a hard match. We're going to be in for a hard evening, as the Liverpool fans are today. Yeah,
they've still got a strong core of team. Onana in goal, experience. You got Danny Blind, who's experienced, Klassen, who's experienced, Tagliafico, and Tadic from ex-Southampton players. So you've got 5-6 very experienced players there at full strength. Whereas, actually,
I'm sure they're going to be looking to. Sorry, go on, Ash. Sorry, go on.
Selection in goal. Yeah. Selection in goal for Liverpool tonight. Adrian completely looked over with all his experience.
Obviously, Keller has been doing better in training. Jurgen's seen something and he must think, do you know what, he's a bit more solid than Adrian. Adrian flops every time he gets a chance, you see, in Europe. Keeps making mistakes. He can't be trusted. Better off with the young guy.
Yeah, boss man, you agree?
I agree with that as well. I think he's becoming like, how Mignolet ended his time with Liverpool. He's now, nervous, curious. He started well for us last season, and I think he needs a run of games. If you don't give Adrian a run of games, he's not going to build his confidence and so forth. He does it for a mistake.
It's an interesting one to pursue. That's 3 goalkeepers at Liverpool who've come with a reputation. Adrian at West Ham was really good, and there's no, it's not that the cop or the crowd are on their back because there isn't a crowd. It's a bit bizarre, isn't it? I can't think of another club where 3 goalkeepers have screwed up so badly and been written off so quickly.
I think Carrier isn't even a professional footballer. He was just acting as one. Yeah, he's not a professional footballer. Was he any good before he came to Liverpool? Really?
Well, Klopp thought he was good enough for the Champions League final, didn't he?
That might have just been Karius's agent doing a good job. I'd never heard of him before Jurgen bought him, and I tried to do the research. I couldn't find him. He dug him up from nowhere. Who is he?
Don't know.
I think with the rise in social network nowadays, everything, the pressure has gone up on everything. Everybody's got an opinion. So once one social network gets its teeth in somebody, regardless of who it is or whatever the team is, it is now taking effect. Look what's happening with Arsenal, for instance, for an example. I think Arsenal's fall from grace is due to the rise in Arsenal AFTV. They call the shots on who they want as manager. They scream it enough, the manager's out. So there's been a lot of changes in football now. So goalkeepers who are not performing, they don't stand a chance. If you're no good and you've got that as your thing, you're going to be out before you know it. You know?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but it's good to see how a goalkeeper who's never played in the Premier League, like Mendy in Chelsea, can just walk straight in, calm, command, and actually, from almost the moment he strode on the pitch, made that jumper his own against what was the most expensive keeper in the world. Made him look like a boy, really. I was laughing because I was watching the Real Madrid game, which we'll talk about in a minute, and I thought there's 3 Mendy I know playing. And I'd pick the Mendy at Chelsea in goal to play at left back rather than the Real Madrid or the Man City one. I know he's got the best Mendy, and that's the one at Chelsea, not Real Madrid or City. Yeah, it's funny how the same name player comes along. So 3 Mendys. How many Dembeles have we had? Ousmane Dembele.
Oh, millions.
Yeah.
There's loads of Sissokos as well.
Yeah. Yes, Sissokos, and it's funny. I was watching a rerun of that Maradona Hand of God final, etc. And you forget that there was Steven Stevens and Steven in the England team at the time.
Stevens.
Yeah. That period of England was so confusing. Gary Stevens and Trevor Stevens and Stevens. Too much.
Yeah. Funny. Anyway, did anyone smile with hearing about the Real Madrid defeat? Their woes. Second, they got beat by Alaves the other night as well.
What score was that one?
They lost to Shakhtar 2-0. They lost to Alaves, I think, 2-1. It feels like the wheels are coming off at Real Madrid.
I prefer Real Madrid to Barcelona. I wish the wheels were falling off more at Barcelona, but that's sad news for me. I don't like either of them, but I prefer Real Madrid over them. I hope Spanish football crumbles. I do.
I think it's poor, but I have to say hats off. Quietly and calmly, Diego Simeone is rebuilding Atletico Madrid over the last 2-3 years. And just look at I think Atletico playing Real Madrid or Barcelona really soon, but it's an opportunity for Atletico to start to stretch their legs at the top of that Spanish league. Barcelona and Real Madrid, they're down poor at the moment.
Poor. Very poor.
Yeah, a lot of big clubs are going through a rehaul. I think Liverpool were a step. I mean, Real Madrid, Barcelona, 1 or 2 clubs in Italy, 1 or 2 clubs in the Premier League are all going through the similar process. Look at Arsenal, for instance. They're languishing in 14th place, and we're hitting December.
You're right. Even Bayern Munich, because David Alaba is thinking of leaving, Martinez, and obviously Alcatraz went to Liverpool. So they're and Boateng. So that's 4 big experienced players, even at Real Madrid. At Bayern, that's quite a change for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the end of the era. Those guys have been at Bayern Munich for an awful long time, and I think they're going to be the last of the players that will be at clubs for an awful long time. The days of players staying for 10. I think Boateng has been there 10 years.
Well,
Alaba 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to be at Liverpool for his whole career. I'd just like to throw that one in there.
you could be right. Yeah, he comes from around the corner, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Well,
there's nowhere else.
Have you ever watched that car the program with him and Robertson do they like driving? They're driving in the car. The two of them having a conversation.
It's
I
real
saw like car between Robertson. How about you, boss man? Have you ever seen that, Robertson?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen one with Robinson and Trent. I've seen Ox and someone else as well. I think Ox and Gomez, they do it as well.
Car share.
And they do that. I've seen it. It's really, really good. You can see they've got a real tight relationship, them two lads. And I think they are ultra competitive with each other. I know they're friendly, but they really, really don't want no one to outdo anybody. And I think that's great for the team. You know, they've got this friendship and competition that is going on. And
It's a big family.
It seems a happy club at Liverpool. I mean, Salah chucks his toys out occasionally, but seems like a happy club there.
I watch the training videos all the time, and everybody's happy. They're smiling all the time, playing little games and stuff. It's like school.
Yeah,
like playground.
Does seem that way. How's the game going, Ashley? How's it going? What can you see?
The last ice. Oh my God! I didn't do that, did I?
Because I saw Curtis Jones hit the post early. It's still 27 minutes gone at Liverpool, 0-0. Possession. Actually, Ajax have had 59% of possession tonight.
Well, I think Liverpool are about to score. Oh, well, they was about to score.
Just 2 shots on goal, but three corners to Ajax. It certainly doesn't sound like a Liverpool domination to me.
No, Ajax are keeping the ball. They're doing all right, but can they keep it up for 90 minutes? This is Liverpool. We make everybody run.
No, I tell you, I'm putting today's result down as a draw, even though as much as I want to win. But I'm watching Ajax play Midtjylland, and they are a busy bunch of guys. It's not going to be a walkover, no way. This is going to be a good game.
When I saw the lineup and I saw Salah, Mane, and Jota, I thought, boy, if I was a defender at Ajax and I saw those three at the centre circle kicking off, I'd be a bit nervous. But is anything making a difference tonight, Ashley? Can you see from there?
A difference.
Yeah, coming back. I watched him early on. He looked pretty calm.
I think it's just going to be this until the second half, and then Liverpool are going to come out flying because they always do it, especially at Anfield. Beginning of the second half, they like to get this early goal.
Cool. Another topic, chaps. Obviously, we've seen some breaking news on the Brexit implications for players coming into the country. I've only seen, I think it said something like no more than 6 players under 21 can join from international per season, but also nobody under 18. And when you see Chelsea, City, etc., signing quite young players from around the world, my first reaction to that was, will that give Dortmund and those German clubs and the Spanish clubs all a free rein to, take every bit of talent from South America in particular into their clubs at an early age? And by the time they're 18, the Premier League clubs will end up paying out 50 million for those lads. Because often from 6 to 18, they can be defined as, the future greats. I wondered whether we'd shot ourselves in the foot there. Or maybe we're just getting rogered by Europe again. Thoughts, chap?
From as far back as I can remember, Real Madrid and Barcelona have been nicking all them young South Americans. I can't remember that. Liverpool get the leftover. I mean, the rest of the leagues get the leftovers, the ones that they don't want. It's like they go there first. All the young Brazilians do.
Well, it's the same.
Or they go to Italy.
The Portuguese clubs get a great share of the South Americans, but let's be honest, it's because speak Spanish or Portuguese, and they're only 16 years old. So I think the chances are they go to Spain or Portugal because they speak the language, and coming to the UK for a youngster leaving home for the first time. And that's what, when you look at the amount of wonderful players that have come through Benfica and Porto and Lisbon through Portugal, as well as some of the Spanish clubs. Yeah, you're right. But I think if you can't take anyone in under 18, wow. I'm trying to think of some of the great. How old was Ronaldo when he came into United? Was he less than 18?
I think he was about 18.
Yeah, about 18.
18. Yeah. But he was already a bit of a superstar in Portugal, wasn't he, when he came over? Yeah. I know Man massive and big, but he was causing a storm in Portugal. A few of them were Nani, Ronaldo, and there's one more Portuguese player. I've forgotten. He scores great goals, and he played for Chelsea for a short while.
Deco?
No.
Yeah, it'll come to me. Yeah, but that was my first thoughts. If we can't take players between 16 and 18, then all the young talent has to go to elsewhere in Europe, which will mean that the Premier League will end up paying through the nose for 18 to 20-year-olds once they've matured, rather than trying to identify that. The other thought I had was that there are clubs though that like Man City, who, because they own 6 other clubs around the world, or 6 or 8 or whatever it is now, if they find a young talent, they'll just take them into one of their other clubs around the world. So they'll use all the other feeder clubs around the world. So there'll be a way around this. Wait till they're 18, and then they'll move on for Billy Buttons into Manchester. So I think there's a way around it. Unfortunately, again, it'll be a rich club's paradise, because if you own 2 or 3 clubs, and you can have feeder clubs around the world, but you're not going to get a feeder club if you're Sheffield United, are you?
No.
Wrong. So there'll be ways around this.
I always wondered how. So I used to watch like UEFA Cup, and I used to see like Brazilians, in playing for teams in Slovakia. So maybe that'll come back around again. They're using Slovakian teams, to get like loan them a Brazilian so they can sign them later on. I don't know, because Willian ended up at Shakhtar, didn't he? And
So did Fernandinho.
Yeah.
I mean, Fernandinho, I think, was 26 or 27 before he even left Shakhtar into Manchester.
Yeah, it got spotted playing the Champions League, dominating. Was it Man City's midfield? It might have been Man City's midfield or Arsenal's, one of them.
He'd been noticeable, but yeah, you're right. But it will be interesting to see what the effect of that Brexit is. I feel the top clubs will either buy other feeder clubs or use feeder clubs to pick up talent and then move them into the Premier League. Unfortunately, the like the Crystal Palace or West Brom, etc., they're not going to be able to have a link abroad. I don't imagine.
No, they're going to have to start focusing on youth. They're going to have to put more money into the what's it called? The training stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I mean, those clubs should be pouring through talent. I'm surprised from South London that Crystal Palace haven't developed more young talent. I know Wan-Bissaka came right through very quickly, but there's not enough. There's not enough when you think of what is it? I can't remember. There's something like, is it 18 million people living inside the M25?
That's loads.
You'd have thought we'd have a good crack at be able to find some young talent all over South London. But yeah.
This first half has been absolutely boring. Just Ajax keeping possession.
It's not exactly. I mean, it seems to have been end to end at Man City over my shoulder, but there's no goals. There's hardly any goals anywhere at the moment. You've got a real interesting game at Gladbach and Inter Milan, because if Inter Milan can win that, they're back in that group. That'll end up with been a ferocious last night with Gladbach, Shakhtar, and Real Madrid. Anything else?
What changes do I think Klopp will make in the second half? Do you know what? I never saw the starting lineup, but I didn't see Mo. Mo's out in it. I wonder if Thiago's fit. I would have seen Thiago.
I'd love to see him get a run in the games. I mean, the guy is, he's a world class talent, but he doesn't seem to have arrived properly yet. He's not on the bench.
Oh,
The bench. Firmino, he could drop Salah for Firmino. Minamino, who seems to have done nothing. A guy called Timaskas, I've never heard of. Origi, Mr. Average. Williams, Young. Jaros, never heard of. Kane, never heard of. And Clarkson, maybe wasn't he on Top Gear? I'm surprised he's on the bench.
Yeah, it was Jeremy son.
Yeah. Jeremy Clarkson's number 65 for Liverpool. He might come on, Jeremy Clarkson.
Hey, he might have speed, pace.
Yeah. He might be able to do that. But I think here's a really lovely, interesting result. Actually, I haven't been paying attention. Atletico Madrid 1, Bayern Munich 0 at half time.
I'm not surprised. Diego loves to do them sort of things. You know, the 1-0s.
Yeah. It's good to see Kieran Trippier making it out there as Atletico. I never thought he would.
No, that was crazy. I still can't believe it now. And that was ages ago.
Yeah. So that seems pretty impressive. That, because as I say, it's bizarre that not enough. Hardly any British talent has really, really made it internationally, particularly in Spain. No. That's why you thought, even all those years ago, Gary Lineker only went out for a season and then came back, or Mark Hughes, and you'd have thought they'd have set the world on fire.
I think it would have suited someone like Joe Cole. The certain English players who could have done well out there and never went out there. The little skillful ones.
Yeah, I agree. The kind of
Sean Wright Phillips.
Yeah, mini David Silvers. Yeah,
them sort of guys.
Yeah, I think you're right. Not too physical, but good, really good on the ball players, hold the ball. Yeah, I agree with that.
Not the Jonathan Woodgates.
Do you remember that? John, didn't he get sent up in his first game or something like that for Real Madrid? Was
it a sending off and an own goal? I can't remember. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was something really bad. But I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of the players. Yeah, when I talk to my friends in Real Madrid, they loved McManaman. They thought he did well, but it was more. Real Madrid is more about politics and wooing the supporters, and McManaman learned the language quite quickly and quite endeared himself. It's a bit like Michael Robinson, who died recently, who played for Man City. I think he played for Spurs. Oh, Liverpool. Michael Robinson played for Man City and Liverpool. Went out there, if I'm not mistaken, played for Real Sociedad, and then moved into commentary and was absolutely loved. He was like the Gary Lineker of Spanish television. Was Michael Robinson. He used to play for Liverpool and Man City. He died recently, quite young. But then he just endeared himself to the Spanish public. It seems far more about, when Gareth Bale obviously pissed everybody off, and it didn't matter how he played, whether he scored, he won them the Champions League, it didn't matter. If he didn't have enough, charisma with the fans, they were going to hate him. Whereas McManaman, who I've always thought was overrated, seemed to go out there and get a great reputation because he had a bit of charisma and learnt the lingo.
They loved Beckham.
Yeah.
I don't think they liked Michael Owen too much.
He won the fans. He didn't necessarily win it on the pitch. He won it in the newspapers. He won it out in the street. He won it on the TV, just like McManaman.
Macca. Everybody loves Macca. You can't not like Macca.
Yeah, I don't like him. He came to City. City paying a fortune in wages, and like Fowler, he never flipping turned up. He was injured all the time. And
I forgot he played for Man City.
Yeah. Then you have the commentary matches, and Man City will be on commentary, and I have to listen to McManaman in the gantry box, and bloody Gary Neville. One from United, one from Liverpool, giving it the big one left and right. God, they've found Micah Richards to add a little bit of balance, and then you get Carragher in your ear as well, and you think, can't they find anyone who didn't play for United or Liverpool?
I'm from the same area as Micah Richards. I know he's got a business opposite where I used to live. I don't go in there because it's Micah's. I walk past it.
Well, that's near Leeds, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was chatting to a pal of mine who's a Leeds fan, thinking about Leeds have lost so many players over the years that they'd love to see come back, like James Milner, oh God, what's his name? He was at City and now at Everton. Oh, come on.
Who's at Everton now? Leeds player? Former Leeds player?
Yeah, former Leeds player, played for Man City. My mind's gone blank. Bald head.
But I've got to deal with all the Leeds fans talking about, we could have been the best team in the world if we would have kept Rio, if we'd have kept all them players, we would have been the best, we would have won the Champions League. I've got to deal with that. I've got to say, look, you've not won nothing.
I do hear a lot of that from Leeds fans. Fabian Delph, of course.
That's him.
Yeah, my pal at Leeds was saying, wouldn't it be great if Fabian Delph and James Milner came back for one last season? Because when they really put it together, when Howard Wilkinson was the manager and they won the league, which was, when I reflect on that, it was amazing. What they had Gordon Strachan coming back at like 35 years old, knitting it together. I mean, that was an incredible Leeds team we put together, with, like I said, Gary Speed and Chapman up front. And
they let Gary McAllister go too soon as well. Gary McAllister came to us and he was like as good as Alonso. He was insane.
Yeah.
Everyone's asking what chances have Liverpool got to win the Champions League. Every chance, whether the reigning champs, Errol.
Yeah.
Pros at this.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't think any of the other clubs are as good. Bayern Munich aren't as good as they were last year. Real Madrid and Barcelona are pants. The Italians aren't great. Paris Saint-Germain seem like they're all over the place.
The one team that worries me, I'm not even joking, I panic about this team, and I shouldn't admit this on camera, but Spurs and Jose,
the Champions
worry
League.
me.
They're not in the Champions League.
Champions League. Are they not in the Champions League?
No. It's Chelsea, Liverpool, United and City. All
right, okay, I can sleep easier then.
Yeah, they're Jose's tactics for that. The one team I think could derail Liverpool could be Atletico Madrid. I think they're really improving. Watch out for them. What the heck, Chelsea are playing pretty good. City, United, Liverpool, who's to say, we won't get 4 clubs at least in the last 8.
Easily, it could happen. Not worried about Paris. Who worries me? Not worried about any of the other teams, only the other English teams.
If I was a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't worry about United. I'd worry about City and Chelsea a bit. I'd worry about Bayern Munich and I'd worry about Atletico.
I've got a tiny little worry about Juventus, a tiny little bit.
No, I wouldn't. I can't see it. I can't see them.
Well, they are the match fixing kings.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is it still home and away all the way through the final legs? So is the last 16 quarterfinals? Is it all home and away, or is it just one leg?
Do you know what? I haven't checked that bit out. I didn't even know. Hopefully, it's 2 legs. I'm hoping for 2 legs. But then again, there's no fans.
Lokomotiv Moscow had like 10,000 fans in the ground. See, if you get to what I was thinking was, if you get to the quarterfinals, semi-finals of the Champions League, and some countries are allowing loads and loads of fans back in, yeah? Who's to say, I don't know, Liverpool could end up playing at Anfield with no crowd behind them and going to some other club in Europe, and they've got 20,000 fans.
Well, you know how us Liverpool fans are. We always find a way. There might be a boatload of Liverpool fans going there and buying all the tickets.
Perhaps.
Depending on where it is. No, unless there's a quarantine, I don't know.
But by March or April, it might be interesting. There could be fans in some parts of Europe and still none in others. That might have a determining factor.
Well, you're never more than 2 meters away from a Liverpool fan, so we're everywhere. We'll probably be there. We're all over the place.
Yeah, but it's, when I think of over the years when Liverpool have really needed the Liverpool crowd in a European night, and they won't have that. In the same way, you know, I was talking about this the other night when I was on, in that whether you're in the Premier League or in Europe, you look at you look at Dusseldorf, you look at some of those clubs that have massive fan bases, you know, the Wall at Dusseldorf, or you look at the Premier League and you think, yeah, a club like Palace always benefits in that tight little ground from having a crowd behind them. Whereas when you've got a big open stadium like West Ham or Southampton, I'm not certain they reap the same benefit. I'm wondering if some clubs this season it's been the same as normal without fans, whereas other clubs have really missed them. You know, I'd imagine Leeds United would have done so much better if they'd had their fans in there.
Yeah.
Maybe even Sheffield United. Is that one of the factors that have hurt Sheffield United?
Yeah, so how come Man City have dropped down the table then? Because they never have any fans at their stadium, so how come they're so...
Yeah, it's only when you see the midweek nights, it's just a big stadium, and it's just a bit of press. They love the bit of banter on that sort of thing. But yeah, having been to City Stadium quite a lot, or Arsenal, it is interesting that West Ham's is the worst because it wasn't laid out as a football ground, and it's really wide open. There isn't any atmosphere. City is kind of okay. Arsenal is okay. St Mary's at Southampton's really poor as well. But I tell you, if anyone's been to Spurs, the new ground, they've really learnt a lot about how to build a proper football stadium. You know, they've banked those stands at that end of the ground. The noise from Span, you know, they can be just munching a bag of crisps at Spurs, and it sounds like this scored a goal. You know, they've really got the acoustics terrific in that stadium. Real Madrid's an intimidating ground because it's built. The Bernabeu is built a little bit like a velodrome, so that the sides are really steep. So I've
never been interested in the new camp. I think it looks like dirty. It looks I think Barcelona need a new stadium. It reminds me of bullfighting.
I've never been there.
About time.
I've been to the Bernabeu. I went there to watch Man City lose in the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Hey.
But the bit that surprised me is in England, you rely on the fans to make all the noise. But in Spain, it's artificial. They have all these speakers all the way around the ground, and they pump up the noise artificially.
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, okay. They pump up the noise artificially, you know, when they're singing the Real Madrid song at the beginning and all this sort of stuff. The fans are really quiet. They pump it all up artificially via speaker system, whereas we don't. Yeah, really good. And they insult the fans. You know, the away fans at the Bernabeu were like locked behind this mesh, like almost in prison. It was really bad. So you're treated pretty dreadfully there.
I like the Turkish football fans. And obviously, I've never been to a match in Turkey, but when I went to Turkey, I seen them, and they're just like English fans. They're just as nearest I've seen to English fans is them Turks.
Well, yeah. Maybe those hooligans at Liverpool learnt a few tricks on them when they were bombing the Man City coach for that important game in the Champions League. I was well upset.
I loved it. I did.
I felt it was. Why did I feel it wrong? Yeah, it was only 6 months previous or a year previous that Leroy Sané was on the bus when the missile went through the window and the player got injured in Germany. So you got a couple of players there who were on that bus in Germany, and you could tell in that first 10 minutes the Man City players were concerned on that pitch after that treatment of that coach. I just thought, after Liverpool had gone through the Heysel disaster, etc., they should be the last club on planet Earth who should have done something like that.
Well, I don't know. They didn't. Nobody got harmed. Really, no one got hurt. They didn't set fire to the coach. It was just a bit of a.
The coach was damaged so much it was written off.
Excellent. I mean, not a human got hurt. No people got hurt. It's a material thing. It's
a year before, a player was badly hurt in the same sort of craziness in Germany.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, the Liverpool Football Club highlighted the route of the Man City coach online. They knew what they were doing. No, I think it's bearing in mind what Liverpool have gone through as a club. You know, at Hillsborough and Heysel. No. They should never have done that. That's wrong. It's so
I
wrong.
mean, the club didn't tell nobody to throw anything.
Last
That was
club
just
in Europe who've done that.
I think to blame is the off licenses selling alcohol. Honestly, people who don't drink don't think like that. So there's all sorts of things that come into it. If it would have been on a Monday morning, it wouldn't have happened. It's because it's on a night. And
well, if they hadn't advertised their route via the club, it wouldn't have happened. That's the bottom line. I thought that was a disgrace to Liverpool that night. Well, second half's kicked off. City on my right shoulder. Ash, can you see Liverpool from there?
yeah, they're on my screen. Mane got a fouled.
Well, we've got to see some goals. Any forecast for the second half?
Yeah, Liverpool are going to pile it on. I'm thinking, all right then, 2-0. I was going to say 2-1, but no, 2-0.
I wonder how much toll that'll put on those front three strikers to have played a full 90 minutes and then have to rock up for a game on Saturday again. At least hopefully, City have rested quite a few players, including De Bruyne.
I'm hoping they don't have to play the full 90 today. We bang some goals in quickly and then rest them.
Yeah. So, Ryan Sterling must have some miles on the clock. He's ever present and forever plays 90 minutes, never gets taken off. You know what's going to happen by the time we get to the Euros in the summer? They're all going to be knackered.
Oh yeah, of course. Euros should have been last season as well. Wow, I forgot about the Euros.
Yeah.
So
it should be really exciting. I mean, England are going to play Scotland, I think, at Wembley, and it's in June.
So wait a minute, right?
Last time in
a tournament,
it's a variety of club. I can't remember. There's some of the games are in the UK though, and I think some are in. God, I'm not 100% certain. I think like Belgium and France. No, Belgium and Holland and UK. I think I could be really wrong here. I could be talking crap. Someone's got to help us out here. But I'll have a look on my phone in a sec. But I know England are playing Scotland at Wembley because what I was thinking about the last time that England played Scotland in a big competitive game of football was the one where Gaza scored a fabulous goal.
One of my childhood memories. Yeah, I think I left primary school that day. Came back to see Gaza do that. Yeah.
Euros 2020. Let's have a look. Right, we got.
So Robbo didn't get injured. He's still here. Okay. Soldier.
They've got some of them. England are playing Croatia in London, Scotland, Czech Republic in Glasgow, but Turkey, Italy is in Rome. Wales, Switzerland's in Baku. So it's in a variety of locations. The UEFA Euro 2020 is in a whole load of locations.
Madness is a mess.
I think so. Yeah. But no, it'd be really exciting. The time zones will be good as long as the players aren't too knackered. And we've got some great talent apart from at centre back.
So I don't know. My prediction for that tournament is either France or Belgium.
But yeah, it could be when Belgium finally make it, couldn't they?
Yeah.
It's their golden generation's time now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's De Bruyne's last chance. It's been knocking at the door.
De Bruyne, Lukaku, Hazard. If it'll be classic, won't it? He'll be injured most of the season with Real Madrid, and then he'll be fit for the Euros and look like a god.
Lukaku is excellent for Belgium. He's a machine.
Well, the guy who turns up for Belgium is Batshuayi. He can't hit a barn door with a banjo for Crystal Palace or Chelsea. Yeah, he seems to score every game at Belgium. I don't get that. I see him
Benteke used to do that as well.
I watch Palace. I see him loping around the pitch like he's not interested. He suddenly puts on the Belgian shirt, and it looks like Ronaldo. But yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's Belgium's moment. Spain are kind of rebuilding, could be good.
Germany, they'll definitely do some damage. They always do.
They got leathered by Spain the other day.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, I think Spain will always be difficult to beat, but Belgium could be the boys, couldn't they?
Yeah. France. Oh. Yeah, there's France. Oh my god.
I don't get
Holland in this tournament.
Yep, they're
right, then, I've changed my mind. Holland might take this tournament. I forgot about Holland. Right. Genie Wijnaldum. Oh no! Do you know what? No, not Holland. Sorry, Virgil won't be there. No.
You don't think he'll be back by then?
No. Oh, then again, wait a minute. They said he's missing this season. Oh, I haven't read any. I haven't seen any. This goal's coming.
You think so?
I can smell it.
It isn't at City. Oh God! Rodri's just elbowed.
Oh my God! Who was that? Williams.
What's that?
So all right, the ball came crossing in. Williams takes a strike at it. He should have just at least controlled it and passed it to somebody, with more ability. He went for the half volley.
No, there's nothing happening in the City game apart from Rodri's just leathered some big fella who plays for Porto. Rodri's lucky to stay on. It was pretty much a forearm smash, it looked like.
I don't rate Rodri at all. You lot was better off keeping Delph.
I think Rodri's still young. He's improved a lot this season. He's a lot more mobile. I think he's all right. And they have to find a new Fernandinho, even though he's a god. Fernandinho is just a god of a player. I wish he wasn't 35.
He's pretty good. I've got a problem with Laporte as well, because people was acting like last season Man City's problems came from not having Laporte, and now Laporte is back. Where are Man City in the table?
They got a dodgy start, and Laporte was only finding his feet back to the game. They'll be fine. With Diaz and Laporte, they'll be fine. If you look at the next couple of City, you've got Fulham and West Brom and United, and then they're with a game in hand. They're only 2 points behind Liverpool. There is nothing in it. I wouldn't get overexcited at this stage. And I would say City's problem is not at the back anymore. It's striker.
Yeah, definitely. Who would you buy? If the choice was yours, who would you buy for Man City up front? The choice is yours. Not Lewandowski.
No, Haaland.
Oh, yeah, he's the best.
His dad used to play for City. He's got connection. He's got history. He's 20 years old. He looks the real deal. He's an elegant player like Pep Guardiola likes. Yeah, undoubtedly, I'd say him. And also, I want some retribution. If I was to name the player I hate the most, and that's Roy Keane, I hate him on the TV. I cannot get the hypocrisy. I don't get the hypocrisy where he was an ex-pro who admitted in his autobiography of going out to maim another professional player.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
Sky Sports pay him hundreds of thousands of pounds a year to preach at us about how to play the game from a guy who's an animal.
Excellent point. I forget about that. He admitted that in his book that he did it deliberately. I forget about that when I laugh at his jokes.
How can you put a guy like that on a pedestal for all the young players, for all the young people to listen to and be influenced by a guy who he's pretty sick in the head, really. You know, he's showman. You know, he's a headline grabber, but actually, he shouldn't even be on the show as a role model.
It's evil to end somebody's career and have no remorse. It's evil.
Absolutely. It's absolutely. And then to put him on a pedestal on TV and suggest people listen to him.
Yeah. I forget he came from the side and took his knee clean out and ended his career sometimes. And I think that should be highlighted a bit more, honestly.
Yeah. So, in answer to your question, yes, Haaland would be the player because of this history, because I think he's elegant and plays the City way. And I want to see him, you know, I want to see Roy Keane shut up.
So what would he have to say? Because he'd have to address him in the pundit thing, wouldn't he? He'd have to address the fact that Haaland's in the Premier League, he might have scored a goal, but then he put his dad out, and he'd have to...
Yeah, but he wants to sell it. And Roy Keane isn't going to remind the public about what he did. No way. That would be bad PR. He'll play all angelic, and you can imagine in the first few months he'll give him loads and loads of praise. But
I wonder what Haaland Jr.'s got to say about that incident anyway. I wonder what he would have to say about that if he stepped foot in England.
Yeah, I wondered about that when he was occasionally linked with United. And his dad, if I think I'm right, his dad, Alfie Inge Haaland, is his agent as well.
All right.
I think, or his manager. Surely he couldn't comprehend suggesting his son went back to United after that. Went to United.
He probably wouldn't let him, would he? He'd say no. You're tarnishing the Haaland name.
Yeah. Anyway, Liverpool January transfer centre back.
Centre back. I did want that guy from Salzburg. That it begins with U. I can't say his surname. I did want him.
I can't pronounce it.
But he leaked a few goals. I seen him make a mistake last time. I seen highlights of them, so I changed my mind. Who do I want at centre back? Oh, that's a tough one. I need to think.
Ben White at Brighton. He's good.
I mean, Brighton kept a clean sheet. Did they keep a clean sheet against us? No, we won. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know him. I haven't seen much of him. I think that we should just bring up the youth. Whoever's in the youth, just throw him in.
Maybe.
Philip.
The other really rated one is the one Man City tried to sign from Seville. Is it Koundé? Koundé. He's making really good feet. I like the Man City player at Burnley, Ben Mee. I think he's a good player.
What is he?
He used to play.
What's just happened here? Curtis Jones. I missed it too. I'll have to see the replay. Go on, Curtis.
What's happening?
So big Curtis Jones put Liverpool 1-0 ahead against Ajax. He's smiling.
He has scored.
Yeah, Curtis Jones. Yeah, 1-0 Liverpool.
How good was it?
So the replay hasn't come yet. I'll describe it. I'll describe what's going on. So cross from Williams. Left-footed cross by Williams. Wow. Curtis Jones taps it in with the outside of his right foot.
Wow.
Yeah. It's close. It's from close range, but the cross from Williams on his left. Okay.
Bit of trivia for you. Curtis Jones bought a suit from Moss Bros in Liverpool back in July, I think it was.
A suit?
Yeah.
All right. He'll be wearing it to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's funeral at the end of the season.
Ooh. Sterling just hit one over the bar.
No surprises there. That's his style. Unless it's from 2 yards. It's good from close range, but any distance, it's going over the bar or wide.
It's funny. He was known as a pretty poor finisher, but I can't remember last season he scored 25 goals.
So when Sterling played for Liverpool youth, I used to watch the Liverpool from the highlights, and Sterling back then he used to score long ranges, plenty of long ranges in Liverpool youth. So he can do it.
I've never seen him score a long ranger, I don't think.
Oh yeah, when he was little, he used to score long ranges all the time.
He was at QPR originally, wasn't he?
Yeah, I haven't seen no footage of him from there.
Yeah, I was reading about him. You know, he came from pretty much nothing. I think he came over from Jamaica when he was very, very young, just with his mum.
Yeah.
And you know, they struggled up QPR eventually, and then on to Liverpool.
From rags to riches.
And then you cannot deny that Guardiola has made him a fantastic player. Would he really have developed as well at Liverpool as the player Guardiola's turned him into?
I think he would have developed even more under Liverpool. So Klopp is the developer.
He hasn't developed Urugi too well, has he?
Origi?
Yeah.
No, he hasn't. But Origi can still come on and get goals in important matches.
There was a variety of Liverpool players at that time, as Sterling, Urugi. There was the lad who then went to
Jordan Ibe.
Yeah, was it Bournemouth?
Yeah, Bournemouth.
And he was going to be great. And it's interesting how only one of those players has really made it when they were there all together, weren't they?
To be honest, I don't think Sterling's much better than Jordan Ibe. He got lucky with the transfer, and
he's got a fantastic centre of gravity.
Yeah, Sterling is really strong. He could have been a defender. His stamina is crazy.
Yeah, but his centre of gravity is good. His close control is strong. Which is pretty good. But he's got an inner determination to succeed. But I do. When he first came, he isn't a fraction of the player he is now. I really do think it was that first season when you had Aguero and Sterling at City, who weren't the players that Pep turned them into. I just thought there was massive improvements in those two lads. It's looking a bit.
Putting the pressure on.
To be fair, City have scored quite late. Oh, what's happening? They're folding, you reckon?
Liverpool have got the counter-attack game going on now. Curtis Jones is playing like left wing.
Curtis
He's playing in the man-A position.
What I'm reading says that Anana made a mistake and Jones capitalised.
Maybe. I didn't see how Liverpool got the ball in the first place. I just seen Hendo with it, played it back to Williams. Excellent cross, and yeah.
Could be.
Jones tucks it away.
Anyway, Cavani scoring for United a couple of goals. Was that surprising? Did you think he would come good?
Unfortunately, I knew he would come good. He just scores goals all the time, doesn't he?
Me too. You can track back our website, and I was saying before United signed him that Pep should go out and buy Cavani. There was a whole series of strikers. He knew Aguero was injured, but hey, he never signs anyone over 25 or anyone who doesn't think he can completely control. There's a whole raft.
So Pep's a control freak.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I feel sorry for his wife.
I don't know much about that.
Would I take Raheem Sterling back at Liverpool? If he apologised to me, sent me some chocolates. No, I wouldn't, because he wouldn't get in the team. He'd be on the bench. Who have we got? So all right then. So Jota or Raheem Sterling? I'm going to pick Jota all day long, because Jota's the next Cristiano Ronaldo.
You made your whole assessment on about the first 10 games of the season versus about 4 or 5 seasons that Sterling's had at City. How many other players have turned it on in the first 10 games and then gone off the ball? No. You can't make that comparison. You're just living for the moment. You're not putting
this
any.
is the Jurgen Klopp signing we're talking about. So you see the Jurgen Klopp signings that actually take off. They never slow down ever again. Ask Andy Robertson. It's the ones that never move. They might.
He hasn't done much with Shaqiri either, has he? Shaqiri, yeah.
Right. So if you the thing about Shaqiri is the Champions League semi 4-0 Barcelona. He started that match when Mo was injured, and he did us proud. It was like Mo was still there. So Shaqiri can step. Shaqiri against Man United, right? I think he came on. Did he score 2 goals?
Yeah, he's got it in. He has got ability. The guy. It's a shame he's got such other talent in front of him. But United did well signing Cavani. Cavani's a really good, sensible player. He might get a 3-match ban though for his misuse of language. Let's say. Stupid, wasn't it? Yeah, it's a bit bloody stupid.
I used to think he was better than Suarez. I used to keep it quiet, but I used to think he was a better footballer than Suarez. I thought he had more to his game, and it was less of a liability. He wasn't going to get sent off.
Yep, good temperament, good professional. That's why he made that stupid racist comment online. Yeah, I always thought Suarez was a bit stupid and would say and do something like that. But you'd have thought Cavani would be at 34 years old. He seems like a calm, controlled, professional guy. It's a bit of a bonkers thing to say.
Might be just a language barrier thing. I think to call someone a racist is harsh.
No, I doubt he is. It was just, I think it's stupid. And it was the same word that a couple of others have used and got banned. You'd have just thought someone at 34 with enough intelligence, with a club like United advising him what he can and can't say. It reminds me, it was funny. I read not last season, the season before. Somebody leaked a briefing from Liverpool Football Club to the players, telling them what phrases and words they couldn't use anymore. Like they couldn't use the phrase handbags anymore. They couldn't describe another player as a big girl, and they had a whole list of phrases that they weren't allowed to use anymore on the pitch.
Oh no! Insane. Madness. If I was a football player, I think I'd be breaking all of those rules. I'd be the worst. I'd be seen as the worst human on the planet. I'd be seen as a Balotelli. I'm a nice person.
I'm trying to think. There was some amusing comment that was picked up about Adam Traore of Wolves went down really softly. And I can't remember who it was, but was heard on the microphone saying, "Look at the state of him. He's built like a brick shithouse, and he's now lying on the deck." And I just tickled him. I can't remember. It'll come to me in a minute. But a lot of people picked it up and thought it was really amusing. But
it's hilarious. He's a bodybuilder, and he shouldn't be going down like that. So Bobby Firmino's come back on. I mean, he's come off the bench, Bobby Firmino. So you know what's going to happen now, don't you?
Who's he replaced?
Jota. So Bobby's on. He's gonna send Ajax defenders insane.
He'll send all the dentists of Europe, insane. With their billboards. I think he gets buy one get one free. Him and Jurgen Klopp go to the dentist, buy one get one free for a mouthful of pearlies. Yeah,
they do. When I first noticed Firmino's teeth, I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, what's going on? It looks a bit different today.
It's like a glow in the dark stick, and Jurgen Klopp's got the same.
Yeah, Jurgen as well. But good dental plan at Liverpool. Why not? I think Man United need a dental plan because I'm looking at Bruno Fernandes' teeth, and they're not exactly. They could do with a bit of a brush.
It was funny, wasn't it? There was various players. Oh, City of no, what? I'm seeing anything like this. I don't know how Man City didn't score there.
Oh, I thought you was going to say they conceded. I was about to jump off my seat.
No. The goalkeeper clawed it back off the line. Watching it now. Ball cross Fernandinho. It's a longer line. I don't know who the hell didn't put that in for City.
Right, so with Joel Matip back, right, we're not conceding. We're not going to concede too many goals. Genie sticking his foot in, but he's giving him a yellow. All right, Genie's got a yellow card.
Ruben Diaz cleared the ball from under the bar of the other guy's goal.
Hey, what did he do that for?
I have no idea. I had to double take. I thought it was at the other end and he cleared it off the line. But instead of scoring, he cleared it off their line. That's crazy.
What's wrong with him? Drug test him after the game.
I think he still was in defensive mode.
So yeah, Jurgen Klopp was just going insane because Genie got a yellow card and he didn't deserve it. So yeah, you see Jurgen with the...
Yeah, he'll be doing all the big shoulder action.
Oh yeah, he did all that.
He's quite a tall guy, isn't he, Klopp? I saw him next to another couple of players. He looks about as though he could be as though he's like 6'1" or 6'2". He's quite a big guy.
He might be taller than 6'2". I seen him stood next to Van der Berg, who's 6'4", and he's only just shorter than him.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't want to get on the wrong side of big Jurgen Klopp.
Big mouth. But no, I have to say I appreciate he has done really, really well at Liverpool. He's bought some great players. They've got a fabulous squad, and if anybody beats them to the Premier League or the Champions League, they'll have done well.
Oh yeah, they'll have worked the socks off.
You know, it can happen. You know, I think Liverpool won a lot of games last season without playing particularly well, and they seem to be very tenacious in the last 10 minutes or get the rub of the green. You know, all they have to do is, like against Brighton, just get a little bit of luck turn against them in the end of the game. What's happening?
So Mo Salah was doing tricks in the area. We're just trying to get it from underneath his feet, you know, to get the shot off. But an Ajax defender got there. He got played through by, was it Genie? He took his time. He could have passed it to Hendo, who was in a bit of space, but sometimes...
Sorry, I'm distracted by that Real Madrid, Shakhtar, Gladbach, Inter Milan group suddenly got really interesting. Inter Milan are now 3-1 up at Gladbach. What? So when you look at... Let's have a look at the table there now. So if you look at
I don't know why I've got my coat on. I came in from outside and forgot to take it off.
If you look at that table, you've got Gladbach 8 points, Shakhtar 7, Real Madrid 7, and Inter Milan now 5. And I think the last games there are Gladbach, Real Madrid, Shakhtar, Inter. At that group, that'll be a good night to watch that group.
Yeah, is that in so Shakhtar Inter, is that in Ukraine?
No, that Gladbach Inter. That's at Gladbach.
Oh.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was born and brought up in Manchester, but when I was 11, I moved to Yorkshire, to this place called Ilkley in Yorkshire. And I used to
that's just down the road.
Yeah, I know, from you. And when we were kids, there were about 12 or 13, and we got a team together, and we called ourselves Ilkley Munchen Gladbach, because we just thought it was a great...
It's decent. All the dead sheep on Ilkley Moor, boy. Sheep schools, that's where you go for your sheep schools.
Yeah. Where else I've been since I saw them, but yeah, we called ourselves Ilkley Munchen Gladbach. No, there weren't as many like European clubs on the TV as then, and you had people like Red Star Belgrade, and somehow the teams seem to have better names. And when you heard them on the radio and you weren't as familiar with the television, there was a far more mystical quality about some of these teams with these wonderful names like Red Star Belgrade or Borussia Mönchengladbach or Olympiacos, or kind of romantic names. Now
I nearly grew up as a Red Star Belgrade supporter up until somebody told me, look, well, they're from a different country. I just picked the name. I just like the name, but yeah.
Yeah. But because you weren't as familiar and seeing them on the telly all the time, there was almost a kind of more romance about those clubs.
I first heard about them through reading through a sticker book and seeing a player who used to play for him, and I thought that sounds like a good team. Before I made my decision to support the best team on the planet, I've never looked back.
But there is, it was, you'd get Hertha Berlin and AEK Athens or Sparta Moscow, and they were kind of names that you'd hear a lot on the radio. Now, because you see them an awful lot on the TV, it's less romantic.
Oh yeah, but there's still some of them countries that still think that it's romantic. So wait till you see some of those South African teams. They've got like Jaguars and Cheetahs and all that.
And the Kaiser Chiefs, of course.
Yeah.
The Leeds band were named after the Kaiser Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
They were named after the Kaiser Chiefs because who was the guy at Leeds that they worshipped who was from South Africa and started at the Kaiser Chiefs?
Lucas Radebe.
Lucas Radebe was at Leeds. And Leeds signed him from Kaiser Chiefs in South Africa. Yeah. And the band were fans of Leeds United, and they named themselves Kaiser Chiefs after Lucas Radebe's team.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
He's got the keys to this city. They love him. It's a bit weird. They love him a bit too much, I think. It's a bit dodgy. Yeah,
Lucas Radebe was a real hero there, like Yobo was as a player as well. Yeboah.
Yeah.
And before him, Tony Curry. It was just very gods at Leeds in those areas. Yeah.
Cantona used to be a Leeds United hero.
Yeah.
They used to sing Cantona songs. Man United PSG tomorrow. What do you think? I think PSG are going to tear them apart. Mbappe is going to make Maguire look like an absolute fool.
Man United have got that group nailed, though, haven't they? I think they are for that. Let me just have a look. Yeah, United are on 9 points already. PSG and Leipzig are only on 6. Surely United will rest off their team. They're already in the last 16.
Oh, right. Okay.
It kind of doesn't matter. I would have thought United will. They've got to rest like Fernandes and a variety of players for the weekend, surely, because they play Saturday.
Wasn't Ollie's greatest ever moment as a Man U manager against PSG?
It was the only moment, wasn't it, earlier this season?
It's the only moment. He's still living on it today.
I think we saved him. So
you might have guaranteed him a job for another 2 years.
United are away at West Ham at 5:30 on Saturday, so that's a tough game. So if you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you're going to rest a whole bag full of players knowing you've got to go to West Ham Saturday afternoon. Man City at home to Fulham is a little bit more straightforward. Chelsea Leeds won't be easy for them. And good old Jurgen, who blew his top at BT Sport.
Oh, he's still blowing his top right now as we speak.
But he has at least geographically, there's a bit of a trip. Southampton, Liverpool, that won't be easy.
No. They always give us
1 point to qualify. So, as I'm saying, I reckon half a United team will be left behind in Manchester, eating pie and chip, walking the wicket.
So Williams is doing excellent at right back. He might be my man of the match so far.
That's good, as you were saying. I wonder if they've got any up-and-coming centre-backs to help out.
Henderson's still being consistent, Jordan Henderson. Do you know the guy who does nothing wrong? That's still Henderson.
James there says, I think ego might make him play a full-strength team. He'd be out of his mind if he played a full-strength team there and then got done at West Ham. That'd be madness.
I hope he plays a full-strength team and gets torn apart. That'd be like a dream. I hope so.
You'll be trying to put me off the strength.
So Ajax have gotten David Neres holding his right knee because he collided with the stronger Nico Williams.
Is Nico Williams, what nationality is he? Is he Welsh?
Welsh. Yeah. In fact, he didn't collide with him. What happened is he slipped. His own leg buckled underneath itself and, injured himself.
Wales have made the Euros, haven't they?
I don't know.
Wales in the Euros? I think they are. I was going to say, because, you know, they've...
Yeah, so there's a breaking play down here. Neres is nearly crying his eyes out.
Hey! I think City have finally... Gabriel Jesus. Jesus saves.
So what, Jesus came in and scored?
Yeah, salvation from Jesus.
All right. He's been doing his Bible studies, has he?
Yeah. Redemption for City.
Oof.
Jesus. I'm using all the puns now.
Yeah, well, his judgment day will come when he's playing against Virgil van Dijk. So Neres is limping off. They're bringing on Lassina, Traore, yet another Traore. How many Traores have we got in world football?
Yeah, didn't Traore used to play for Liverpool as well? There was a Traore there, wasn't there? It is bizarre.
Yeah.
There's 3 Mendy's. There's goodness knows how many Dembele's, and you're right, in Traore's as well.
Oh, there's plenty of Traore's.
Mind you, there's quite a few Williams as well, and Jones.
Williams. Oh yeah, just for Liverpool, there's 2 Williams.
Yeah, and you've got the lad at United. And who else?
Ashley Williams.
Yeah.
It's a common name. There's loads of Smiths.
Well, no, not anymore.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm just trying. I think that's the only name.
There's not enough McManamans.
Somebody, he was offside. City haven't scored. What's that all about?
Hey, excellent.
What is that all about?
Okay, so you see Kelleher, right? He's about 10 times better than Adrian. We don't need Adrian. We might as well get rid. Be a youth team coach or something, Adrian.
Maybe. I don't know what the hell's going on, because I can't see anything from the replays that shows it was offside. I have no idea why that goal was cancelled.
So Andy Robertson's doing some Andy Robertson stuff.
Running like crazy, is he?
Yeah, well, not play acting. I won't call it play acting. He could have stayed on his feet, but he went down, just to wind up his opponent and have a go at the ref. But it won as a free kick.
No, he's a good player, Robertson.
When it comes to effort, it's like he's the guy.
The other players must be like Robertson, lurking in the other divisions.
Liverpool just nearly scored again. It's all little touches on the edge of the box. That little one touch from Mo to play through Bobby. The keeper got there. So I think there's a lot of teams with poor keepers, for not mentioning any names. Man United, they need to be looking at Ajax's keeper, because he gets down low.
United number 2, Henson's pretty good though.
Is it? Oh yeah, he used to play for.
Yeah, he's really good. It can't be a coincidence that Sheffield United have plummeted like a stone since he left there last season.
No, it can't be at all. So De Gea must be on his way out then. He must be.
Well, you know what? If there's only a certain amount of money to go around, you'd have thought you'd put Henson in goal for United, sell De Gea, maybe get 50, 60 million. Some clowns in Europe will spend that amount of money on him, and then you spend pick a position at United and spend some money in it. Certainly at centre back.
Yeah, they could do. They could do what they do. What that right there as well. They could do that exact same thing with Paul Pogba as well because he's useless. I'm sure some mug will pay money for him, and yeah, you could use that team.
I know we were talking about Errol. Unless United can sign an absolutely world-class holding midfielder to support him, then they might as well get rid of Pogba. They've got to have someone who's more mobile than Fred. And unfortunately for you guys at Liverpool, there is a player, and that's Wijnaldum. If they had Wijnaldum in behind Pogba, United could be pretty good there. But he's such a lazy hound who never tracks back. You've got to have you've got to have a player as good as Makaleli was, or Mascherano was, or Kante. You've got to have someone of that ilk to cover for him.
At Juventus, Vidal and old Pirlo was doing Pogba's legwork. Insane. It should have been the other way around.
Yeah, but I can believe that. But also, you didn't have the intensity in the Italian division. He could get away with playing like you can't. In 2020, every forward's got to be a Harry Kane and Aguero, a Firmino, who don't just put in the forward shift. They put in the first line of defense shift. You've got to be the same with when you watch from Mane to De Bruyne tracking back, or Sterling tracked back ferociously, and yet you've got to do that in 2020. You've got to have 11 hardworking players.
So where would you play Paul Pogba? Like, what position would you give Paul Pogba? Like, it's perfect. So where he's going to play the best, where would you put him?
If I don't have a world-class holding midfielder behind him, I'd put him on the bench. I wouldn't play him.
You wouldn't play him?
Unless you've got an absolutely world-class support act to him. I don't think you can get away with him. That's the only bit that the only way United will solve the Pogba conundrum is to get a much better player than Fred in behind him.
So is Pogba a player similar to like Steven Gerrard? I'm trying to work out the type of player Pogba is. I can't work him out. He's like an alien to me.
Well, he's a bit like Lionel Messi to an extent. And I was saying in the week that Busquets, who has always done Messi's donkey work at Barcelona, and again, as Busquets has got injured and lost form, maybe that's also coincided with Messi losing form as well. So if I was I'm trying to think of other players that are more like him, midfielders who go forward with talent, but don't have the abilities to track back or do bad.
I don't even think he goes forward with talent, though. That's the thing. Does Pogba really go forward with talent? He's not no David Silva.
He used to.
All right.
He did. He used to. He looked like the real deal, but I don't know where it's gone wrong.
I've never seen it. I've looked at all his highlights. I've seen the flashes, but I've never seen anything special from this guy. Not once, and I'm not even joking.
At the end of the day, I don't think he's built for the Premier League. I think if he's going to find himself again, it will be in Spain or Italy. I think the Premier League is too robust for a player like him.
Right, so Kelleher just did a save where do you know that famous save where it's like who is it? Shilton against Pele header from close range.
Gordon Banks.
Gordon Banks. That's it. Kelleher did something similar to that.
Oh wow! Wow, maybe
not as good. Nearly as good. Not as good, but something from close range, just powerful. Just boom, he got there. Not bad. They're showing the replay again for the third time.
88 minutes, and I think Man City have had their chance now.
What score's that one still? 1-0.
Huh? It's 0-0.
What score's that, man?
No, it's 0-0.
Yes.
Yeah, the great mystery was why Gabriel Jesus' goal didn't counter. They said he tracked back from an offside position, but bizarre. City got a dangerous free kick here. Maybe there's a.
Who's Man City's free kick specialist?
One of their players nearly picked Foden out of the ground. Literally. Absolutely. Smashed into him. Right, come on, City. Big free kick, 89th minute now. Come on, chaps. 89th minute.
Right, Curtis Jones. Oh my, the footwork is incredible. Incredible. He does what he wants.
He does look like a player.
Curtis Jones has that Genie Wijnaldum footwork. Do you know where it's like both feet? He could go any way, like
You
a
think
bit like Lallana.
I think Wijnaldum will stay.
Yeah. I hope so. I don't want him to go nowhere.
If they've got half a brain at United, they'll persuade him to go to United.
He won't go there. It's treason. He wouldn't. He'd rather go back to Holland. You can't win the Champions League with Liverpool and then start going to Man United. You can't do that.
Question: will City be in trouble if they don't win? No, they're already qualified. They're trying to get top of the group. So no worries, I don't think.
No, but if they don't win, I'll look for ways to give them grief. So if you can call that trouble, yeah, trouble. I'll post a meme about them or something. I'll get on to Pep Guardiola. I'll film his interview and watch him sweat and stuff. Ajax are coming forward. Who do they think they are? Hendo brings him down. Do you know them tactical fouls? Took one for the team. Well done, Hendo.
Well done, Hendo. Man City got another dangerous free kick. Come on, lads. Come on, finish the game off.
Pom Bears. It's all about the Pom Bears. I love them.
No, I don't think it's going to be a Man City evening. I think it's a lockout. Ooh.
Right, Keller has been looking like Allison tonight. Do you know a blonde-haired Allison? I don't know how old he is. I know he's a teenager, I think.
Yeah, he is pretty young. I think he's 20. I was reading. That's good if they found a replacement.
Yeah, he's better than from this one match anyway. He's better than Mignolet. He's better than what's the other one called? Karius. He's better than all them.
And Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian. He's better than the three of them put together.
Great. Anfield, the goalkeeper's graveyard.
Yep. Bruce Grobbelaar.
Some of it, though, Buck, when and a variety of goalkeepers turned up at Liverpool, they looked okay. It's how they react to their first mistake, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Reina reacted with anger with his first mistake. He shouted at all his defenders.
Pep Reina. Next, who's the next Premier League manager for the sack then? Who's going next?
Next manager for the sack. It could be Mikel Arteta. For out of the big clubs, it's definitely Mikel Arteta. He's going to get sacked before Ole.
You think so?
Yeah, he's not having a good time down at the Emirates.
Yeah.
David Luiz is causing.
What about Chris Wilder at Sheffield United there? It's going wrong there, isn't it?
Yeah. Is that because it's because he sold his keeper and he spent the money on a striker?
Yeah. But it's interesting because a few weeks ago you thought Scott Parker and Slaven Bilic would be going, but I'm pleased for both of them because they seem like really good blokes, Bilic and Parker, and I hope they can manage to. I hope those clubs stick with those two managers. They go through too many. I wonder, if Crystal Palace lose the next couple of games, I can't believe it. I just wonder whether they'll think about replacing Roy Hodgson at Palace.
With who? Big Sam. So where's Big Sam anyway?
No way. If I was Palace, I'd persuade Sean Dyche to leave Burnley, where they've got no money and they're broke. He's got a bit more opportunity at Palace. I think Sean Dyche would be great at Palace.
What about Claudio Ranieri? He's not in a job, is he? He might need some work.
No.
He's won a Premier League title.
One-hit wonder. But
he's full time at Liverpool.
Is it? So they've won?
Yeah, 1-0 Liverpool. I thought it would be 2-0, but never mind, 1-0. Curtis Jones. Big Curtis Jones. I'm going to celebrate with some bombers.
For those watching, there is another Champions League show tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So this has been the Ashley and Ian show. Thanks for watching.
Oof.
I think we're done, nearly. I think Man City waiting for final whistle has gone 0-0 there. Nothing to write home about. Liverpool has crept to a 1-0. Let's just refresh, have a look at the group.
The Man City players are looking absolutely frustrated right now. It's looked like they've run out of ideas.
They're finished. That's because they're leaving the pitch. That's why they've run out of ideas.
They're still playing on my screen. All right. Okay. So they run out of ideas.
Bayern Munich. So tonight, earlier, Lokomotiv Moscow lost at home to Salzburg. Atletico got pinned back by Bayern to 1-1 in the end. You've got an incredible group now with Shakhtar Donetsk, Real Madrid, Gladbach and Inter, where there's nothing between them. City have stolen their group. That's a done deal. Liverpool group is pretty much a done deal. So Bayern are through. Atletico look pretty good. So they will be formidable. Bayern and Atletico. Goodness knows who's going to win that Real Madrid group. City and Porto are going through in their group. Liverpool and could be Atlanta, could be Ajax. Then Chelsea and Sevilla are strolling to their result. And then Dortmund and Lazio. So yeah, the last 16 looks like Dortmund, Lazio, Chelsea, Seville, Liverpool, either Atlanta or Ajax. City and Porto could be any one of at least 3 or 4 in Real Madrid's group. And then Bayern and Atletico. No wild surprises from tonight.
Hopefully Liverpool get Bayern at some point. I want Liverpool to get Bayern or, if it's possible, or a Spanish team.
I hope City don't get Bayern. I hope City get softer teams all the way through.
You're going to need
it. Should we wind it up? More Champions League tomorrow night. So who's on tomorrow night? We've got Chelsea, yeah. So running through the games for tomorrow night. They set up a good defensive shape and there's only 2 or 3 possible good chances. So job done there. They won the group. So so Man U PSG is the featured game tomorrow night. That's the big game tomorrow night. So enjoy. I don't think United have got that much to play for, but and they should rest the players. But as was suggested earlier, maybe ego gets in the way. I think it'll be quite a good test of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whether he's got enough intelligence to rest a load of players, knowing it's not that critical and he's got to go to West Ham. He'll lose his job at West Ham, not at PSG. Cheers.
Right.
Ashley, thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thanks.
Cheers. Take care. Enjoy your Bears. Bye.
Right.